Today I am going to be talking about the movable major scale on the guitar. Some scales are called movable, which is pretty self-explanatory. It means they can be moved up and down the fretboard. So it's a pattern, right? A finger pattern that you learn, that if you move that finger pattern horizontally, it will create the same sound, either higher or lower, starting on a different note. So the one that I am going to be talking about today is the major scale. In our Western music, the major scale is probably the most fundamental organization of notes, right? And I think most people are familiar with it. It is the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, a deer. That is all based on the major scale. The placement that I'm going to be using is starting on the note C. The cool thing about the C major scale is there are no sharps or flats in it. There are only natural notes. That means just the letters. So C, D, as opposed to C sharp, D flat. The C major scale has only natural notes. And this particular scale that I'm going to be doing is going to be what's called over 2 octaves. Octave is also just a way to describe a unit of measurement, okay? So scales have, or the major scale has 8 notes, where the first note and the 8th note are repeated a certain distance apart, an octave. In the C major scale, it is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? If you wanted to think in just terms of this movable scale and not in terms of C, it is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 8. So this particular scale is going to go from do to do, 1 octave, and then to the next highest do, or in this case C, making it 2 octaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it just so you could hear it and you could see where the fingers are going. Then I'm going to say the note names. In this case, I am using C, so I'm going to be saying the notes of that scale. And then I'm going to give you it in direction, right? The confusing part where it's 2nd finger, 3rd fret. So I'll do that too as well. So first off, here is the scale. Okay, so that is the scale ascending, right? So going up, where typically if you were practicing a scale, you would play it going up and going down. Most people find the coming back way more difficult. So I will leave that for another video. This video is just to learn the scale fingering. And then hopefully in your practice, you could take that fingering and practice it going up and then coming back down. Okay, so I'm now going to play it again, and I'm going to say the note names. Again, this is in C, because that's my starting note. If I move it, right, it's going to go into another key. I'll talk about that in a minute. So here we go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So we're ending and we're starting over. D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay. So now for the pattern itself. This is a movable scale, but the starting note is on the 5th fret, 5th string. So any of the notes, if you were going to start this scale, would have to start on the 5th string. You can't take this finger pattern and move it to the 6th string. It's not going to work. There's a different major scale starting, a different finger pattern starting on the 6th string. And I'll do that in another video. But this one starts on any note on the 5th string. So you're going to put your 2nd finger. In this case, the one that we're using for demo purposes, 2nd finger, 3rd fret. And then on that string, on the 5th string, you're going to play the 2nd finger on that 3rd fret and the 4th finger on the 5th fret. Now, if you look, I'm going to bring my hands a little closer. My hand is in the 2nd position on the guitar, so that my fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 are covering the frets 2, 3, 4, and 5 respectively. So, you know, that's the fret that they're going to be covering. So my pinky in this position is going to be playing the 5th fret. Okay? My 1st finger is playing the 2nd fret. 3rd finger is playing the 3rd. No, the 2nd finger is playing the 3rd fret. I get my fingers crossed between keyboard and guitar. So these are the fingers that are covering the frets. I'll not confuse you anymore. So starting on that 5th string, fingers 2 and 4. So that's C and D. The next string, head over to the D string. You're playing the 1st finger on the 2nd fret. Then you're going to play 2 and 4. So that's E, F, G, 1, 2, 4. Okay, so let's do that all together. So we've got 2, 4. Now 4th string, 1, 2, 4. Right? Now you're going to move to the next string, which is the 3rd string or the G string. You're going to play 1, 3. Okay, so now I told you the pinky was going to be playing the 5th fret, but not on this particular string, because on this particular string is where you're going to transition into your next octave, and you're going to slide the 1st finger up, and now you're going to be in the 5th position on the guitar. Okay, so where your fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to be playing frets 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so that 3rd string is the transition where you play 1, 3, slide up, 1, 3 again. So now that's C, D. Cross over to the 2nd string and you're going to play 1, 2, 4, or E, F, G. 1, 2, 4, and cross over to the 1st string, 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time, just calling out the finger numbers. Try and keep an eye on where I'm switching, okay? So here we go, string 5. 2, 4. Switch over. 1, 2, 4. Switch over. 1, 3. Slide. 1, 3. Crossover. 1, 2, 4. Crossover. 1, 3, 4. Okay. So that is the movable major scale, as I said, in the key of C. Now, if we were to move it up to the 5th fret and play that same pattern, okay, that same finger pattern. Hear it? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But that is no longer in the key of C because I started on D. Now, I was only playing 1 octave there. I can play the full octave. Maybe I can play the full octave. Okay? So, how do you know what key you're playing in? You would have to know the notes on the 5th string. So, I will give you those. I will just kind of guide you along. Watch. So open, 5th string is A. So you're not going to really use this position for the open string. Could you translate it? You could, but I'm not going to for the purpose of this video. So we have an open A. Here on your 2nd fret is B. And right next to it, I already talked about it, C. A, B, C. Now, if you slide up to the 5th fret, D. 3rd finger, E. 4th finger, F. You're going to slide up to the 10th fret, G. And then on that 12th fret, your string name repeats, A. So if you happen to be with a group of musicians and they're playing and you have the wonderful opportunity to play around in one of these scale patterns, you could do one of two things. If you are blessed with an ear to hear the scale tones, you could sort of hunt and peck and fish it out. If not, you could always ask, hey, what key are you in? And then you can kind of take it from there, finding your place. You can certainly practice this as quarter notes. You can practice singing with it. You could practice just for finger work. There are so many things that you could do in terms of using this scale to practice. At some point, I will probably put together an accompaniment video, maybe just a straight chord progression in the key of C or in the key of D that you could play along with and have some fun with the major scale. I will be sending the link to a photo of the diagram that goes along with this video. And that's it. Hopefully you enjoy. Let me know if it's helpful. Happy practicing.